Welcome, everybody, to NFL Week 5. This is the Turnpike Sports Pro Football Show presented by Caesars Sportsbook. Always great to get through the first quarter of the season in good shape.
Yeah. So you're doing a lot better than I am. So
I have to admit, this is the first time I'm actually doing extremely well after 4 weeks. I've always had maybe the first 2 weeks I start off pretty good, then the next 2 weeks I just fall off a cliff. But no, this week's been pretty good. But again, this is NFL Week 5.
Mm-hmm.
We're here again in the Turnpike Bar, and we are here with the Pro Football Show presented by Caesars Sportsbook. Head on over to Caesars.com/sportsbook-n-casino and use our code PIKE1000. You'll get a sign-up bonus. Basically, it's if your first cash bet loses, you get it back as a bonus bet up to $1,000.
Nice.
21 and older. Terms and conditions apply. Problem gambling, 800 Gambler. Caesars is going to be with us each and every week all the way through the entire NFL season. We're going to be going through the regular season, the playoffs, as well as the big game, otherwise known as the Super Bowl.
Well, this is the week I plan on busting out. So this is when I really hit my stride. I keep saying that, but never happens.
Well, before we get into that, like I did last week,
here are the rules between me and Doug. So this is a contest between me and Doug. So Doug, give us the rules again.
Well, the overall rules for our show, we're going to be doing a fact segment. I've added that in now.
Oh no, but the rules for the contest.
Well, I'll get to that when we get
right.
when we get past the facts.
Okay.
Before we get into the second segment of the show, I've been starting off the show each and every week here with some trivia or facts that have happened out of the previous week's action before we look ahead to the current week.
A very interesting week. My God, Jared Goff played out of his mind.
Yes.
I actually won more money in fantasy sports than sports betting this week. So it's a bizarre week. I know you have some stats to back that up and some facts to back that up.
I have yet to play any fantasy football this year, but we're going to start off our facts and trivia segment here. We've got the Giants and Jets, the New York teams, or the New Jersey teams, depending on who you talk to. They made history last week in Week 4, and it's not the history.
History.
Not the history they won. Now, they've played on the same at home 56 times previously. This was the 57th time these teams have played at home in the same stadium in the same week.
Yeah, because the Jets... No, wait, what was... The Giants had the Thursday night game.
Right.
And the Jets played at the Meadowlands on Sunday.
Yeah.
So
now remember, they both shared stadiums since 1984. They shared Giant Stadium from 84 to 2009, and they played at MetLife since 2010 together.
And both teams stunk up the place this week. So
after 56 times playing together, on the 57th time, this is the first time in 57 times they have not scored a touchdown. Neither team has scored a touchdown.
So
at least one of them has scored a touchdown. 56
times
previously they played at home in the same week. At least one of the teams has scored a touchdown.
Okay, this is the first
time. This is the first time ever neither team scored a touchdown. And they should have, because the Jets were there at the goal line. They had the issues there. What a mess of a game. Bad weather. I can honestly say that did affect a lot of it.
For the Jets, it was bad weather for both teams. So, but just both New York teams really stunk up the joint.
Yep. But speaking of the New York Jets, we are going over to their former quarterback, who seems to be playing exceptionally well. I think he's almost MVP caliber the way he's playing this year. We got Sam Darnold.
Yes,
over at Minnesota Vikings.
I actually I won my game because of him. Good for him.
Sam Darnold became the 5th quarterback since 1950 to go 4-0 with 10 passing touchdowns in his first 4 starts with the team.
No, he seems like he's in a good situation. He's got a good supporting staff. He's got good coaching, which he hasn't had throughout his career. I remember Sam Darnold when he was at the Jets and he was playing. I forgot. I don't know if it was a Monday night. It was a night game. And he was playing the Patriots, and they had a close-up on him on the sidelines and said he was seeing ghosts.
Yes.
Well, he's not seeing ghosts anymore, so he's doing exceptionally well.
Well, he's in good company. The last time that was accomplished was Patrick Mahomes in 2018.
Wow. Okay.
Staying with Minnesota, we got another note from the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings are the first team. This is good for the bettors to know. Minnesota Vikings are the first team in the Super Bowl era to start 4-0 without being more than a 1-point favorite in any of those games.
Wow.
In fact, they were underdogs in the past 3 games.
I won with them last week, and they were 2.5-point underdogs, I think.
Yeah, and they're playing this Sunday against my Jets over in London. That's an early Sunday game at 9:30, I think, is the kickoff time.
Yeah, and the difficult thing about that with the Jets is after they get past the Vikings, they have to play Buffalo.
Oh, yeah, no, they're...
It's not looking good these next 2 weeks for the Jets.
No, they needed that Denver game. Yeah. Kansas City. Kansas City Chiefs have started off 4-0, winning each game by 1 score. They've scored fewer points than the 1-3 Bengals.
Okay.
And allowed more points than the 2-2 Saints.
The Kansas City, look, I know their record, doesn't bear this out, but they have been underwhelming. They have not played like the Kansas City of old.
No.
I mean, look, I guess the important stat is you're winning. You're beating teams, but you're not dominating teams like they have in the past.
Yes.
So we'll see how this season goes on for Kansas City, but they certainly look like a beatable team.
Yes. Here's a weird stat: the Washington Commanders. Through the first 4 weeks. The Commanders have more scoring drives than incomplete passes.
Wow.
23 scoring drives, 19 incomplete passes.
Okay, I'm a little nervous now because a little hint, I bet against the Commanders. So I went against the hoopla surrounding the Commanders, and I went against them, so we'll talk about that later, I guess. And
here's the stat you alluded to just a little while ago. Lions quarterback Jared Goff went 18 for 18, 292 yards in that win over the Seattle team over there. And,
Seattle team,
yes,
Seattle
the Seahawks.
Team,
I couldn't think of the name right
Seahawks,
there for a second.
Yes.
The Seahawks. Goff had both the most pass attempts ever without an incompletion and the most yards ever without an incompletion.
Wow.
Previous record for most passes without incompletion was Kurt Warner when he was at Arizona.
Okay.
But he went 10 for 10 and got knocked out of the game, so he never finished that game.
Okay.
We don't know what his stat line would have been at the end of there. And the previous record for the most yards without an incompletion belonged to Washington quarterback Frank Philcock.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I have no idea.
1939 Washington team.
Okay. I was going to say that.
Win over the Brooklyn Dodgers football team.
Interesting.
Did not know there was a football Dodgers.
Wow.
He went 8 for 8 for 179 yards. That was the previous record. Goff went about maybe 120 yards over that. So,
okay.
A couple of interesting stats to keep in mind when you're moving forward, especially the Vikings and also the Kansas City Chiefs stats there.
Okay.
But here we are. That was week 4. We're now moving into week 5. And here we have our little competition, and I'm going to go through the rules.
Now you're going through the rules.
Now I'm going to go through the rules.
See, I wanted to jump right into the. I'm excited about this week because this is the week. Like I said, I plan on turning things around. I have one bet I'm a little iffy on, but I kind of like it. So,
okay.
For weird reasons.
Well, as we've been doing all season long here, we're going to be using Caesars Sportsbook line.
Yep.
They're running with us all the way through the entire season, and we're happy to have them along with us. Midweek lines, so please check the lines as you get closer to game time. If you haven't placed your bets already, go ahead and check the lines before the game starts, before kickoff, because they may change for the better or for worse.
Yeah, they might get better. Who knows?
We do picks. We do 3 picks each. We do 3 games each. We analyze each game, and we do 3 picks each. We do either point spreads or totals. We don't do money line bets.
Nope.
And we just keep track of everything that we go along here and play against each other for the season.
Yep.
So without any other waiting around here, we're going to head on over to our picks right after this.
With costs going up, Adam and Eve is the best deal around. With 50% off a sexy adult product at adamandeve.com. That's 50% off right now when you point the camera on your smartphone at the code on the screen. Don't get up. Just open your camera and point it at the screen. Hurry. You'll also get 10 free gifts, including free discreet shipping at checkout. This is your chance to get more for less. So scan now for 50% off plus 10 free gifts from adamandeve.com.
Welcome back to the Turnpike Sports Pro Football Show presented by Caesars Sportsbook. Caesars.com/sportsbook-and-casino. Use Pike 1000 when you sign up. You get a special sign-up offer there. And also, don't forget to hook in your Caesars rewards cards because they do have a lot of offers for the loyalty points. Again, before we go into our segment here, we'll go through the rules one more time. Using midweek Caesars Sportsbook lines. Check the lines before you place your bets anyway.
Absolutely.
We do point spreads or totals. We do not do money lines for the picks. We do 3 games each, and we don't tell each other what the picks are. We do, before we start rolling, we do talk to each other about what games are so we can figure out the order of how we're talking about
just
this.
for order purposes.
Yes.
We don't talk to each other while we're doing our picks, but before we roll tape on this thing, we say, hey, what games we have, so which one you want to do first and stuff like that. But, there's a caveat to that. I know we have one game in common, but I don't know how you're going to pick on that. No. It could be a total, could be a point spread. It could be the other side of my bet. So who knows? It could be, we don't know what team. We know what game. I don't know what team.
I have to say this before we get into them. I didn't like any of these games.
Oh, really?
I did not like any of these games this week.
I kind of like the one we know we have in common, but like I said, I don't know what bet you put on this game, but I know we have this game. This is the one I feel more comfortable with.
Well, with that being said, let's head on over to game number 1.
All right.
First game of the week, and this is the game we have in common. We have the Baltimore Ravens favored by 2.5 going to Cincinnati to play the Bengals. There's an over-under of 50.5 points here. Cincinnati may have saved their season when they beat Carolina last week.
Yeah, think about that. The Bengals are 1-3 only because they beat Carolina.
Led by Andy Dalton.
I know. Well, okay. Yeah,
the Red Rocket.
Yeah, the Ginger Hammer. I know. I got it. Yeah.
But here they have another, I guess you can call this another must. I guess every game now is going to be a must-win for Cincinnati because now they're playing a AFC North rival. They're playing at home. Baltimore comes in. I love what Baltimore's been doing all season long here.
Let me tell you something. They beat Dallas and they beat Buffalo.
Yes.
So, I mean, granted the Bengals beat Carolina, a little difference in team talent there.
Yeah. Cincinnati is allowing 26 points per game. They're 22nd in third down defense, 19th in red zone defense. Those are not good stats to have when you have Baltimore coming to town. Baltimore leads the NFL in yards per play. They're averaging almost 7 yards a play. Baltimore's offense is ranked number 1 in a lot of different categories, while Cincinnati is ranked in the middle and the bottom for defensive categories. They're not doing extremely well here. Yep. Baltimore comes in, they're 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games versus the Bengals. They're also 6-1 straight up in their last 7 road games. Cincinnati, conversely, how's that for a good word there?
Yeah, right.
Cincinnati is 1-7 against the spread in their last 8 games versus AFC North opponents. I just like the way Baltimore's playing. I still don't know if Cincinnati's figured everything out. Cincinnati is playing odd this year so far. I guess maybe at some point it's going to click, but right now I think everything is kind of wishy-washy on their side, which is why I'm going with Baltimore and laying the 2.5.
I'm surprised it's only 2.5. I mean,
it opened at 3.
I don't know. I guess a lot of sharp money went on Bengals, so who knows? But look, for the reasons you said, I went with the Baltimore Ravens too. And there's other things too. When it comes to playing AFC opponents, the Bengals don't have a very good October record, losing 7 of their last 8 against the AFC. So that's not a very good record for October. On the flip side, the Ravens have won each of their last 6 games as favorites and have covered the spread in each of their last 4 games against Cincinnati. So for those reasons and for your reasons, I'm liking the Baltimore Ravens. So I guess we have that one in common.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, let's head over to the second game of the week. Game number 2 for me, the Carolina Panthers traveling to Illinois to play the Chicago Bears. Chicago right now is favored by 3.5 points. There's an over-under of 41.5.
I looked at this game.
Yeah.
Pretty close to it, but
given how these teams have been playing this year, I'm not sure if Carolina shouldn't be the favored one here because, the Bears are playing with their number 1 pick. He's not playing extremely well. He's still playing like a rookie. He's had his ups. He's had his downs. He's got more interceptions than touchdown passes this season coming into the game, so maybe that'll change at some point, but for his rookie season, he's been, inconsistent is a good word for it. Buffalo's Josh Allen, their quarterback over there, has a higher quarterback rating than Carolina's Red Rocket over there, 76.2. It's just a weird combination of teams here. The last time these two teams played was back in November. The Bears won 31-27. It was a high-scoring game. Also, these teams were made up differently, too, than what they are this year. Carolina's, the Bears are playing with their number 1 draft pick behind center, while the Panthers have benched their number 1 draft pick. He's now been replaced by Andy Dalton for the last couple of weeks. It's been kind of odd watching how Dalton has changed this offense a little bit. The teams in their last 8 meetings, they're 3-3-2 against the spread. But I think it's all coming down to who is behind center. If Caleb Williams was playing a little bit more consistently and the offense was playing on all cylinders here, I'd actually go the other way here. But with the 3.5 point spread, I'm actually going to go with Carolina plus 3.5.
Okay, keep checking the points because now it's 4.
Well, it opened at 4, went back up to.
It went back up to 4. Chicago Bears -4, Carolina.
I'm still going Carolina.
You're still going Carolina.
Plus 4, yeah.
Yep, Carolina +4. All right, my next game is the Green Bay Packers, who are favored by 3.5 points, versus the Los Angeles Rams with a total of 48. I watched the Packers last week because they played Minnesota, and I had Minnesota, and I got a little nervous. But certainly, quarterback of the Packers, Jordan Love, wasn't at 100%. But even in a losing record, he still threw for 389 yards and 4 touchdowns, which I think, it had my heart pounding a bit. Like I said, I had Minnesota. But I think he's also going to put up some big numbers this week because the Rams defense is so bad. I mean, here's the entire Rams team. The offense is averaging 18.8 points. However, their defense is giving up 28.8 points. It's just terrible. The offense for LA is 22nd, while their defense is ranked 31st. And here, I told you about October in the last game. I'll tell you October in this game. In October, the Packers have won 8 of their last 9 games against NFC West opponents. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the Rams. They've lost their last 5 games against NFC North opponents. So I'm looking for a big day with Jordan Love because I think he can really, really pile up the yards and points against this really bad Los Angeles Rams defense. So I'm taking the Green Bay Packers.
All right, let's head on over to the final game of the week. Last game of the week for me, I've got the Arizona Cardinals at San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco is favored by 7.5 as we're taping this, given the fact that the last game, the spread was changing as I was recording it.
I have them up. Wait, why don't we do it?
No, it's 7.5. Arizona at San Francisco.
7.5. It's still 7.5 as we speak.
But I also know the over-under, which is currently, as I'm taping this, 49.5. It opened at 50.5. Mm-hmm. It's dropped down to 49.5. Both of these two teams come into this game 2-2 against the spread. San Francisco has won the last 4 meetings between these two, 7 of the last 10. I know San Francisco's got a lot of people injured, but they've been playing extremely well. Arizona's 1-2 against the spread in their last 3 road games with the 49ers, 4-0 against the spread over their last 4. The Arizona's 1-2 against the spread in their last 3 road games with the 49ers, their last 3 road games, while the 49ers, I'm replacing while with, while the 49ers are 4-0 against the spread over their last 4 home games. That's including the playoffs. Mm-hmm. I know that's full strength.
Okay.
But they're missing a lot of pieces right now. They're still playing extremely well. They manhandled the Patriots last week, so it was kind of interesting to watch how that team played.
It wasn't a difficult feat. So
no, the Jets did it too. The Jets did it too. Looking at the total points over the last several meetings here, the over has gone 5-0 in their last 5 meetings, which is kind of interesting. They do seem to like to score against each other. Mm-hmm. Arizona's been scoring a lot of points this year. San Francisco at times has been too. Their defense is still, I've been seeing a little change in their defense. They're not as stout as they have been in the past years. I think regardless of where they were playing this game, home or on the road, because these two teams score on each other, 5-0, both road and home games there. This is a high total, 49.5, no doubt about that. But given the fact that they've gone over 50 points in 4 of those last 5 games, I'm going to go with the over 49.5.
Okay, my next game is I'm going with some kind of thought process that I'm not sure about, but here it goes. This is probably one I'll win. Cleveland Browns versus the Washington Commanders. The Washington Commanders are favored by 3 points with a total of 44.5. Look, a lot of people are on the Commanders bandwagon, and justifiably so. They've been playing great football over the last couple weeks. But I got to tell you, and here's what I'm thinking. This is it for the Browns. This is a do or die game, and this could be their season because they're certainly a talented team. I know a lot of people pick them to go to the playoffs, so they just have to start winning, and it has to start this weekend because this could be it for them. And so I'm going with the Browns, and here's my reasoning. Deshaun Watson has thrown 2 or more touchdowns in each of his last 5 previous appearances when his team was an underdog against NFC opponents, and Watson has also recorded more than 239 yards passing in 9 of his last October games. I'm just so I love October games. We got pumpkins all around us, so I guess I'm in the October mood.
And
so
you're going with an orange color team?
There you go. That must be it. See, that's what I'm thinking.
What's their mascot? The guy that's always in the stands, Pumpkinhead. He wears the Browns uniform.
I thought you meant that really disturbing
elf
thing, the elf in the middle of the field.
I'm talking about
I don't know where that elf came into being or what association that has with the team, but it's interesting. Look, I think this is going to be a very close game. I think it's probably going to be decided in the fourth quarter, probably in the last minutes of the fourth quarter. So I'm taking the Cleveland Browns just because they got to start winning. They're a talented team. Everyone expected them to be a playoff caliber team, and you know what? If they played to their full potential, I think they would be. They're talented. So, I mean, it all starts with the Cleveland Browns, and he starts this week. So, hey, come on, Cleveland. This is it. You might just pack it up if you don't win against the Commanders. It doesn't get easier than this.
Well, remember the stat from earlier today.
Yeah,
Commanders
I know.
have more scoring drives than incomplete passes.
I know. I heard that, and I was like, oh, my God. But you know what? I'm still sticking with them because it's got to turn around. I mean, like I said, it's do or die. Their backs against the wall.
That's why it's a new week in the NFL.
So, hey.
That's it for our picks this week. We're going to do a recap after we go to this last commercial break here.
If you don't have final expense life insurance, this message is for you. LifeCare provides valuable information about whole life insurance to help cover final expenses, medical bills, burial costs, and other final expenses. A final expense life insurance policy is fast and available to anyone between the ages of 50 and 80. No medical exam, no lengthy questionnaires, and no waiting period. Just answer a few questions and we'll do the rest. With the average funeral costing $9,420 and Social Security only paying $255, you need simple peace of mind for you and your whole family. Don't leave behind unpaid expenses. Your premium will never increase. Your policy will have a cash value and a death benefit that can never decrease. To find out how you can get final expense life insurance with a lifetime lock, call 800-601-9488. That's 800-601-9488.
Sign up at jackpot.com and you can bet on the world's best lotteries where the biggest jackpots are up for grabs. Powerball, Mega Millions, some of the biggest lotteries can be found at jackpot.com. Simply choose your lotto game, pick your numbers, or use their quick pick feature, and you're done. Sign up at jackpot.com with code DRAW24 and get a free lottery ticket with your first deposit. Jackpot.com, it's the world of lotto in your hand.
Terms and conditions apply. You must be at least 18 years old and in the United States to play. Void where prohibited. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Welcome back to the Turnpike Sports Pro Football Show presented by Caesars Sportsbook. Caesars is going to be here all season long with us, so please enjoy and bet responsibly with Caesars Sportsbook. Also, hook in your Caesars Rewards loyalty cards with the online sportsbook. When you place your bets, you will earn loyalty tier points with Caesars. It's always great to see Caesars Rewards in the picture.
Yep.
Again, we just finished doing our weekly picks here, so why don't we recap and start? Go ahead, Dave.
All right, I'm taking the Baltimore Ravens, who are 2.5-point favorites over the Cincinnati Bengals. I am taking the Green Bay Packers, who are 3.5-point favorites over the Los Angeles Rams. And, oh boy, my palms are already sweaty because I'm taking the underdog Cleveland Browns versus the Washington Commanders, who are 3-point favorites.
Well, I'm also doing Baltimore and laying the points to 2.5. I'm going with the underdog Carolina Panthers. I have here in my notes plus 3.5. As Dave pointed out, the line changed as we were taping, but regardless of whatever I'm doing, I'm still doing Carolina. And then I'm going to be doing the over 49.5 in the Arizona-San Francisco game. As always, our picks are going to be put up on the blog, turnpikesports.us. Click on the blog button. They'll be in written form there. Feel free to comment there if you want to chime in there. You can email us at info@turnpikesportsradio.com with your own picks or thoughts on the show itself. And also you can follow us on social media. On X, we've got Turnpike Sports, Turnpike Bets, Facebook, Turnpike Sports, Instagram, Turnpike Sports Radio. And as always, we love hearing from everybody out there. Feel free to reach out to us in any way possible. Also, we are using midweek lines. So once again, before you make your bet this weekend,
keep checking the lines.
Check the lines before kickoff. Check the lines before you place your bets. And as always, bet responsibly. Bet with your head, not with your heart.
And that'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike. Good luck, everyone.